Today is February the 8th, 2021. This is the Service Hero Show, 365 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success through service. My name is Tamara Hunter, and I am your host. This is the show that shares inspiring stories of those that are inspiring others. So let's do this. Today is an exciting day and you are going to be well served. We are going to make the case that Luisa Montalvo is a service hero, that she actually also is known globally by many, that she is doing so much out there that actually right now she is actually serving as a service hero. However, I'm not going to be the one to introduce her. I have others that have come to join me, so let's hear from them.
Got asked by Tamara Hunter to do a short video of why I recommended Luisa Montalvo as a service hero. Well, I met Luisa Montalvo at Toastmasters, and she was on a quest to win their humor speech contest, and she'd come at it a couple times and come up short, and she was just focused on winning that contest. And she was retired. She retired early to take care of her mother, who has Alzheimer's, and then she got breast cancer, and she recovered, and she has this cause to save dogs. She's a cat person. She likes cats better, but she is like the largest exporter of the Rio Grande Valley. Isn't produce; it's shelter dogs, or rescue dogs. And she's got this bus. Now, she didn't have a bus first. She would take rescue dogs from the humane shelters, to keep them getting, put down. And she has this contact in New York that has people that want these dogs in Connecticut and New York and different places all over the country. And she drives these dogs, make sure they get their shots, and she does, it's totally voluntary. She doesn't get paid to do it. Okay. And then in 2019, Toastmasters did away with the humor speech contest, and she entered the Toastmasters International motivational speaking contest, and she was the first runner-up in the whole world of Toastmasters with her speech. And she's very acute to the ideology and the culture down here in the Rio Grande Valley, and then she talks about it with humor. And you can find several speeches of hers on YouTube. With her, experience with cancer, but then also what she does for her mother and for these dogs, but what she does for people too. She's been known to take people in for a couple months for free that don't have a place to live, even that don't have cars to drive, and take care of them for a couple months until they can get back on their feet. So she's totally fits the requirement, I think, as a service hero. and she has some other unique talents that I think she's ideal for this community. So there you go, Tamara. That's my recommendation for Luisa Montalvo.
Hello, Louisa. This is Barbara Beckley. I'm one of the volunteers with Chemo Buddy for Life, and I'm also a long-time 12-year Toastmaster. And I just want to say, from Toastmaster to Toastmaster, you are the champ, second place champ 2019. I still remember you being on that big stage, giving your message to the world. Just to let everybody know, she had to get through over 300,000 members in Toastmasters to get on that stage. So Louisa, you totally rock. You are a champ. And I'm glad that not only you rock within the Toastmaster world, but you rock outside of that, because you have came through so many battles. And I just look at you as an inspiration for all. So from Toastmaster to Toastmaster, appreciate you and love you.
So how does that feel?
I want to meet this amazing person. She sounds pretty cool.
Oh, she is. She's completely cool. Barbara Beckley is amazing. And why I went to her, because she's also kind of like in she's been in Toastmasters for so long and in at the different levels. And I really wanted people to understand how big it is that you made it up onto that stage, and what it means to be the runner up of an international competition, which huge. And I want you to also hear from many of the people that are coming to the show right now and coming to greet you. And we have our first ambassador of the chat, Helene Wilson, that is welcoming all of the buddies. That's actually the organization that I do run and this show supports. And so she's here and welcoming all of us. We have Stephen Smith from Sarasota, Florida. We have Ben. Let's see, we do have a bit of a clicking noise, and we'll be hearing about that, I'm sure, from Carol, our production assistant. We have, it looks like Patty's here with us. Patty, good to see you. And please remember, hashtag live, hashtag replay. And we have Billiana. Billiana is, well, she's in Belgium right now. So we have an international group, Belgium, Canada, and the United States, and we'll probably have more of them coming in here soon. I love it so very much. And these competitions are tough. Yes. And they're also, Barbara Beckley is our beautiful diamond. Absolutely, she is. And Patty, so glad that you're here. Patty's going to be recognized here soon too. So let's talk, because so many different things were mentioned by Ruben, and Ruben is the one that nominated you. He actually contacted me actually a little while ago and had told me about you, and that I needed to meet you for a variety of different reasons. And then he just got back with me and he said, okay, you've really got to have her on, because you need to understand what's happening in our area, and that you have been through this pandemic, through COVID, that you have been taking these animals and helping to save their lives by driving them from Texas all the way over to the New York State area to give these dogs an opportunity to live. And that's on top of everything else that you do.
It's a challenge, and as I was saying earlier before, South Texas, which is where I was born and raised, is against. Oh, here, let's see. I don't know if she's saying that my zipper's hitting the mic.
Yeah, because I just was listening to mine, and I don't have a zipper on, so maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
But yes, here in South Texas, where I was born and raised, the problem, the situation of euthanizing dogs and cats merely for the reason that we do not have the area to hold them or sustain them. And the reason we have so many is because we do not have a spay and neuter program that needs to be in effect. As I believe, as soon as we can get something viable in that area, then we will be able to lessen the amount of dogs and cats we euthanize every day. I know it's almost, I believe, over 100 per day that we euthanize, and that's a sad number. I was on another talk show and I put it out there. I said, if you know somebody who has $1 million that can donate to a good cause, I will work for free. I have no problem dedicating 40 to 50 hours a week to this program that I would like to start. It's a spay and neuter program. I think if we can get all the stray dogs and cats off the streets, then we eliminate the reason to have to euthanize. So that's exactly what I'm going for, right? Oh, there's my lamb. No, nope. There's my boy. There's my boy. That puppy wasn't supposed to live. He was in the hospital for 13 days, and the vet said he's not improving. Go ahead and put him down if you'd like. I can do that for you. And I said, let me go pick him up because I don't want him to die in the hospital alone. And I went to go pick him up, and he slept by my side for about 3 weeks. And every morning I wake up and look at him, and he'd look at me and I said, oh, good. So you're still with us. Awesome. So he's alive and well now. That was about 7 or 8 months ago. He's
Oh,
been
wow.
one of my miracle stories, and I absolutely love him to death. And he's with a great, great family now. So I'm so happy that happened. But in every pull that I make, going to the shelter and pulling dogs, there's always usually one puppy or dog that stands out, and they've all got amazing stories. The mere fact that we're able to save them before they're euthanized, that in alone in itself is an amazing story.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. Okay, so we're gonna go a little bit. We're gonna transition a bit, and then we're gonna come back to this at the end because I really want to talk about it a little bit more. And we still have that click noise, so guys, just bear with us. Sometimes this is live TV, so sometimes we can only do what we can do. We'll try to figure it out, though. You when did you start Toastmasters and why?
Actually, the when was, I believe, in 1989, and I was actually at work and heard some people laughing in a meeting room, and I wanted to know what was going on. They were actually having a contest, and if there's anything that I can compete in that I think would be beneficial to me or anybody else and I can have fun, I'm there. So I walked into the room after the applause stopped, and they said, we're having a contest. Would you like to join us? I said, absolutely. I said, what do you do here? Well, we give speeches. I said, I can do that. I can talk. Boy, can I talk. So that's how it started there. And after my work did not offer it, then I can, I don't know, I guess I should have continued to look for another Toastmaster club, and I didn't. And I'm so upset with myself that I didn't. But after I retired, I remember going to the local library there, and they had a big flyer on the front door, and it said, join Toastmasters. I went, oh, yes, I have to do that because I had so much fun the first time. And that was approximately 8 years ago, and I've been with it ever since. But there's a certain unique, special family camaraderie in that organization that, especially now during COVID, I think everybody needs that because we're missing it. And we've gone and adapted. We're doing the Zoom meetings, and it's just so much fun. It's a great, great organization. I recommend it to anybody, even if you don't want to become a better public speaker. It has so many other facets for you to be able to enjoy. So I love Toastmasters. It's really great. So I was with it for the first 3 years back in 1989, and then rejoined about 8 years ago.
So a few days. We'll just put it that way. A few days. And this last you and I've watched your speeches now, and fun. And you guys, anybody that ever wants to go and watch any of these Toastmasters speeches, I've done it now a few times where I've gone for the different years too, and I've watched number one, number two, number three, and it's hard to think, wow, how do you judge these? How do you create a first, second, and third and everything? Because they're different, they're unique, they're fun, they're informational, they're spot on, great technique, all of the above, all of the above. So yours, however, this one you won the award for, or you're the, I call it an award, number one, number two, top five, let's be generous, and the one oh my, I was literally busting up. They had to come in here to see, why are you laughing like that? Because I did not expect what I ended up seeing. So we are actually going to show you all right now the speech that she gave on stage, and you guys stick with it, watch it, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it, because there's a lot to talk about. Here we go.
Luisa Montalvo. First impressions. First impressions, Luisa Montalvo.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Luisa Montalvo, and I'm from South Texas. In South Texas, we ride horses, we carry guns, we all own a ranch, we got an oil well in our backyard. Heck, we like sipping tea, and we wear cowboy hats and cowboy boots everywhere, even in the shower. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters from around the world, and everyone else, even if you're not from Texas. Recently, I was approached by a gentleman, and he said, "You're from South Texas, but you don't have an accent." I felt so sorry for him. I responded with, "Golly gosh darn it, I'm sorry about that." I didn't have the heart to tell him I don't own a horse, and I still don't know who shot JR. It's easy to have misconceptions of different people. You see, we are influenced by social media, movies, and television. I myself am still trying to break any stigma related to my race. You see, I want what everybody else wants, a level playing field. For 28 years, I lived in South Texas, and that was my security blanket. And then I moved 6 hours north to Austin, Texas, and didn't realize I was about to have a life learning experience. Now, I'm the kind of person that will actually pull over and help you change a flat tire. I'll even pick up hitchhikers and give them a ride. And one day I was driving home from my brand new job. Traffic is going its usual 5 miles an hour. And up on the hill, I noticed a woman with long black hair, khaki slacks. She was rummaging through the trunk of her car that was pulled over. I immediately pulled over to assist because I noticed she had a flat tire. I was so excited to help her, and imagine my surprise when he turned around. He was a young Hispanic male, tattoos up and down his arms and hands, across his chest and up his neck. He had an unkempt beard and a bandana that covered his entire forehead. Hey, you got a yak or something I can borrow? He must have noticed the shocked look I had on my face, because then he said, hey, you know me? No, sir, contrary to popular belief, we don't all know each other. And it's pronounced Jack, not yak. Hey, you going to give me an English lesson, or you going to help me? No, sir, I'll help you. And that's when I realized I was afraid of him. I thought, he wouldn't do anything to me in broad daylight out here, would he? I slowly walked backwards to the trunk of my car just in case. But then I thought, wait a minute. I need to go on the offensive. I need to make him be afraid of me. I rummaged through the trunk of my car. I found an old beanie, a tire iron, and a hammer. And just in case, I pulled out the Mexican international symbol of peace, the rosary. As I approached him, he said, hey, you're just gonna help me change my tire, right? I said, yes, but you don't want to mess with me because I know Mexican judo. Mexican judo? What's that? I said, you don't know if I got a gun? You don't know if I got a knife? You don't know if I'm crazy. Oh, no. I just can't get my tire off. I took my hammer, took my crowbar. I pulled out the tire, put on the new one. Under 5 minutes. He said, wow, that was amazing. Thank you. He said, my name is Jesus. Of course it is. I shook his hand. He said, hey, I don't have any money to pay you, but I could tell you a yoke. Okay, Jesus, what's your joke? He said, okay, you're gonna love this, Okay, ready? You ready? Okay. Two Mexicans walk out of a bar. It could happen. Jesus, I don't get it. Well, no, usually we're escorted or we're kicked out. But we never just walk out. No. Funny, I like that. We exchanged numbers, and as he drove off into the sunset, I realized the only difference between him and I, or you and me, are the clothes we choose to wear and what we hold in our minds and in our hearts. You see, how could I have asked the world to give me a level playing field when I hadn't done this for my fellow man? I was embarrassed and ashamed. We are living through troubled times right now, and it seems like we're always living through troubled times. So I ask you to join me and please let go of the first impressions, the misjudgments. You see, when I was a little girl, my mother asked me if I knew what I wanted to be in life. Mom, I'm only 8. She said, Luisa, whatever you do, make the world a better place. I am Luisa Montalvo, and I'm trying. Y'all come back now, here.
You're doing more than trying. You're doing more than trying. And I love your presentation. You got me, especially, I'm sure everybody loves the same thing. I love the Mexican judo. You judo, you know, and just so great. And then the joke. It could happen.
We actually still use that. I actually get it a lot when I see other Toastmasters. They said, it could happen. No, yeah, I get that a lot.
So, did you come up with all the writing, or did someone help write this for you, or how did that all come about?
Actually, I did all the writing. I actually don't usually ask people to help me write, just because I feel that once I ask for someone's help, then I say it's not my story anymore. It's somebody else's story. But that was an actual situation that happened to me, and I had just moved to Austin, Texas, so I was not in my familiar surroundings. And in reality, it was three gentlemen that got out of the car, and I thought, I'm going to die today. And after I spoke to the guys, helped them, I changed their tire because I had extra tools in my trunk. They were fascinated. They actually wanted to pay me for helping them change the tire. And I said, no, it's cool. Go do what you got to do. Get your tire fixed. And after they left, they were like, hey, cool. And he gave me his phone number. And I actually called him a couple of times after just to see how he was doing. And that's when I realized I was actually ashamed of how I had reacted when I first met them. And I thought, here I am asking everyone to not judge me for who I am and what I am. And yet I hadn't even done that. So if I'm doing it, then maybe other people are doing it and need to be made aware of it. And that's kind of what I wanted my audience to take away from that.
And your comedic timing, because it was mentioned in Ruben's nomination of you that you had at one time you were going for that, if you will, trophy in the comedic side, but then they did away with it in 2019. Why comedy?
For one thing, and let me correct Ruben, God bless him, I love the guy to death. They still do have the humorous contest. However,
Okay.
it's 6 months later, but
Okay.
it's two different entities. And I had competed in the humorous contest back in 1989, the first year I joined Toastmasters, and I had advanced with that. And that was, you can get more across, I feel, if the people are going to laugh either at you, with you, for you, about you, whatever it is, in whatever form of way that you can get them to laugh. I think it has more of a powerful message than if I say, you know what you need to do to change your life? You know what you need to do? Nobody wants to be told what to do. And everybody says, you know what? You can't run your life. Why are you trying to run my life? But if I sit here and I said, you know what happened to me the other day? Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe it. I was pulled over. I did this. I did that. And if people are able to relate to you in a form of humor, I think that I would rather have someone come up to me a week later, a month, a year later, and say, I remember when you gave that speech. It was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And even though I might not have placed in the contest, the fact of the matter that years later they remember my message, I would rather them keep my message than someone give me a trophy. The trophy's nice. I'm not saying it's not. It took me 7 years to get onto that stage. But when people come
and
up
onto the magazine cover and such things, right?
Absolutely. Yep. There it is. If somebody comes up to me years later and says, I still remember your message, then I did my job. I feel I did my job. They're not going to, sometimes I'll even ask them, do you remember what the first place winner talked about? Or the second or the third? And they'll say, no, I don't. I said, exactly. Exactly. So the fact that they remember the message, I think that's more powerful and more important than taking home a trophy. Again, the trophy's nice.
Oh, yeah, it's nice. Oh, absolutely. Because it gives you the third-party validation. Exactly. Where then your message or messages can have a little bit more attention to be heard and seen. And so that's where if you're doing it for a reason to help make the world a better place, like your mother when you were 8 years old had said, and I love that. Then you having that title, having that trophy, having that medallion, it does give you a platform. Judgment is hard to go through, but I am still looking for Purple Ben, that she's our comedy relief within our organization, and happy to be who I am. And it was mentioned that you ended up retiring to take care of your mom. Okay, so let's talk about that. Found some of these photos, And that's your mom, right?
Yes, that is her. That is her.
Beautiful. And that's
Oh,
you
and my brother.
and your brother. And I love the comment that you had made that you had matching socks. And you were like, oh, yeah, there you were. One of the days I had matching socks on. I mean, I'm busting up as I'm doing this. I'm thinking your personality comes through in just about everything you do,
Good.
which is so fun and refreshing. And then I found this and I was so touched because it was a Father's Day tribute that you had made. Oh, and then I found this too. Oh, yeah. A little
Oh, wow.
throwback.
Long ago.
Yeah, and there you are with your mom now. Your mom, and there they are.
Wow, this
There
is
they
really late.
are. And that's a cute one too. Okay, so your picture that I had said touching here, that was your father and beautiful automobile. My goodness.
Yes.
And he had passed, and it was a Father's Day tribute.
I think it was the turning point for me, because after my father passed, my mother went into her, what I call a 3-year depression. And understandably so.
Yeah.
They've been together for over 50 years. He was the love of her life, and she became immediately lost without him. And I would drive down almost every other weekend, which it was a 5-hour trip, but I would go and spend almost every other weekend with her.
Mhm.
And I would say, Mom, let's go to the store. She goes, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. And I would say, okay, Mom. And I would, go buy meals, or we would do stuff at the house, and we would watch TV, and we would sing, and we would dance, because she loves to dance. And her and my dad were always dancing in the living room. And
Oh,
my
how
dad, when we were
sweet.
kids, my dad would pass out the frying pan and the big bowl, and we would turn them upside down and pretend we were playing the drums. And
Oh,
while
fun.
they sat there and danced, while they danced in the living room.
Uh-huh.
And after about the 3rd year of me doing that, going down to visit her, one time I said, okay, Mom, well, I'll go to the store. I'll be right back. And she said, well, where are you going? I said, well, I don't know. You want to, I'm going to go get you a banana split or something. She said, well, let me go with you. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, let's go. So I realized that when she wanted to leave the house, it was, like I said, it was 3 years later.
Uh-huh.
And then I told myself, what am I doing coming down every other weekend? She needs me here local now. So I looked into early retirement. As a blessing, I was able to do that. And I live 2 blocks away from her now.
Oh,
I
nice.
stop by almost every night. I'll call my brother and say, hey, I'm picking up food for Mom. And we'll go, and we'll be there on the original bed that her and my dad had. She still has all the original furniture. And we'll sit there and we'll watch TV, and we'll laugh, and I'll tell her jokes. And everybody says that Alzheimer's is, which it is, it's an evil monster. But the beauty that I've been able to embrace with Alzheimer's is I can walk in one day and I say, Mom, you know what today is? And she's like, no, what is it? I'm like, Mom, it's your birthday. And she's, it is? I said, yes, Mom, let's get dressed and let's go eat. And so right away she'll get dressed and we'll go out to eat. And I can walk in the next day or a week later and say, Mom, today's your birthday. Let's go eat. She'll say, oh, let's go.
Makes me think of that Groundhog Day movie. I'm sorry to step on your words, but all of a sudden I have this vision of Bill Murray.
Yes.
And
yes.
You know,
same thing.
That radio going off.
Yes. But the beauty of this is exactly what I want her to do. It's not something I regret or dread.
Right.
This is actually, I'm using it to my advantage. I'm like, Mom, it's my birthday. Let's go drive around. Let's go get an ice cream. Let's do what we got to do. And it's a way to motivate her and get her out. If not, sometimes she doesn't really want to do anything. But if I tell her, Mother, it's Mother's Day. It is? Yes, Mom, let's go. I need to take you out to eat. Let's go. So we'll get dressed and we'll go out. So I've been able to use it to my advantage. She's actually maintaining her memory, thank God. So there hasn't been a real regression of it, which is good. But I'm so glad I made that decision, And in a bit of irony, when I decided to quit my job that I absolutely loved at Abbott Laboratories there in Austin, Texas, I didn't want to leave, but I did. And I said, before I retire, let me get everything checked. Let me go have my mammogram, the colonoscopy. Let me get all that checked and out of the way. And since I had great insurance, and that is actually when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. That's when they found it. So I'm thinking, in a way, had I not decided to retire, I probably wouldn't be here today because I would probably never have gotten myself checked. So there's that silver lining, which I always try to find. Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
there you go.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I too am a survivor. And
Awesome.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. In fact, that's why Ruben had wanted me to meet you in the very beginning, because of the organization that this show supports and highlights a lot. And a lot of the people that are here are our leadership, our volunteers, and our buddies. And oftentimes I will share this, and so that people understand what we're talking about. I'm going to share this now, and then I want to go into why you're in New York. We have a lot of people that have joined us, and I really want to get deeper into this part of the story when we come back.
Absolutely.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And you know, as anybody that's been through that chapter in their life, well, I call it a chapter in our book of life because it doesn't have to define us. We understand this. We understand it. And the thing about it is that the science is there to prove that if we decide that we can be in a community and not to isolate ourselves, because that's what sometimes you want to do, that is the worst thing that we can do. We need to socialize. We need to be there for each other and concentrating on the good. There's one more message, though, I want to share for you before I said we would talk. We're going to, but we have to share this message first.
Hi, it's Steve Smith here with the LWN Live with Nature Foundation. And I just want to say hi to Luisa Montalvo. You are so awesome. I understand that you're being honored as a service hero today on Tamara Hunter's Service Hero Show. You are a hero. You're a hero to so many people, as well as the dogs that you're rescuing, as well as the families that get to adopt them. It's people like you that make this world a better place to live. I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all that you do for the community and for Texas there. Hey, we love you, and we want you to know that we care. Take care. Enjoy this, and yeah, just know that you're making such a huge difference in a dog's life and people's lives too. Hey, see you soon. Bye.
Got me in the heart there. Got me in the feels.
Well, this is meant to honor those that usually will never allow themselves to be in the spotlight because their mission, their purpose, their passion is what they spotlight, like you and saving the animals. And I wanted to give you a moment there. Um, Saving the animals, and I loved it when you when Ruben added you. She's a cat person. Yeah, you found the need, and the fact of the matter that because of whatever reasons and whatever it is that you were explaining it to both Carol, our production assistant, and myself before we went live, that in the area where you're from, where you live, they do not teach, nor is it something that they're doing to make sure that these animals are spayed and neutered. And so they're just running wild in the street, and having more litters. And then there's not enough room in the pounds and such things. And so they're losing their lives before many of them even get their chance to live their lives. And so there's an epidemic going on there, and you found this ability, or you're in this network that has this ability to then escort these pups, these dogs, and you just in this delivery right now you've just delivered 47 lives, guys. 47 lives that have now been spared and have the chance of them affecting families and people, and who knows what they're going to do to inspire more love and just that special bond between animal and human. And that's what you're doing. And so to be spotlighting that, and then spotlighting this as an issue for your hometown. Let's now go into that, now that we've got more people here, and revisit it a bit, because you really do believe that it can be changed, that this
Absolutely.
that this problem can be rectified.
Yes, absolutely. Being number one is usually a good thing, but not in this situation. Like I
Yes.
said, South Texas is number one in the United States, and if you stop and think about that,
huge.
that's to me that's um, unacceptable. Unacceptable because I feel there is an answer, and the answer is a spay and neuter program. So I was actually going to start reaching out to famous actors and actresses and going to ask them for $1 million to start a project. I've given myself 10 years to try and reverse this entire situation, this pandemic that we have down there for the animals. Because, like I said, we're euthanizing merely because we don't have the space or the housing to keep them. And if that's the only reason, that in itself is unacceptable to me. So
Oh yeah.
I thought I was going to start reaching out to famous people, and then I thought, oh, there you go. And then I thought, wait a minute, this is South Texas issue. Maybe I need to reach out to the people in South Texas. Oh, there's my sweetheart. Yeah, she was my special needs dog, and they were going to euthanize her at 2 months because she couldn't stand up, she couldn't walk, she couldn't do anything. And after I finished rehabilitating her, I couldn't catch her. Yep. She was the love of my life. I lost her about 9 months ago, but she taught me so much, and she made me realize that every single animal deserves a chance. Every single animal deserves a chance. And with that, I've decided that if I can start to spay and neuter in South Texas, get a donation, I need to start my 501c3. I will work for free. I will work tirelessly. I have no problem donating 40 hours a week, if not more, to this cause that I have, because something needs to change. Something truly needs to change. I want to be the last one on the list, not the first one on the list when it comes to this.
Mhm.
And I think that's the answer. I'm hoping it's the answer.
Well, we're putting it out there right now. We're putting it out there.
And thank you enough for that. Thank you so much for this opportunity, because I believe Jim Carrey was the gentleman that at the age of 12 wanted to try to get onto Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. I love this story. Keep going. Keep going.
And Lorne Michaels says, you know what? Come back when you're a little older. We can't hire you now. And I remember he said he went home and he wrote himself, he said, one of these days, I'm going to get paid $1 million. So he wrote himself a check and he taped it to the ceiling of his bed. So every morning and every night he woke up and he looked at that. And I said, all he did was put it out there that he needed that he wanted that was his goal, that was his quest. And he actually made it come true through sheer determination. So if that's all you need to accomplish something, then I'm going to give all my determination to this project, because I think it can happen. I know it can happen. It's going to happen. I just need to live the next 10 years to make sure that it happens. And then after that, God or whoever wants to take me, that's fine. But I need to get this going. I need to get this done. This needs to happen for the animal's sake.
And may I add to this, because of the fact that here you are, that you decided to take early retirement because your mother, your delightful, beautiful, wonderful mother that helped you and your brother to have this amazing life, the mother and father that everybody always wanted, you give back to your mom. And in doing so, you leave the job that you love, take early retirement. Being the smart person that you are, you go to the doctor, do all this, and then you hear those words, you have cancer, and it's like, okay, this is just a chapter in my life. However, that in my mind right now is, I'm equating that if you were, quote unquote, let's just go there, a dog, and you heard this, you may end up in that shelter. You may end up then in that pound. Would you then get that second chance? Would you get that second chance? That chapter in your life, you've now moved on. You have had your second chance, and now you're doing something with it. You are taking this second chance in your life and saying, these dogs need a second chance. Look what I'm doing with my second chance. Let's give these dogs that second chance. And maybe that one dog will be a therapy dog for someone. Maybe this one dog will save someone's life. Maybe this one dog will bring the joy to a family that has been joyless. You just don't know, but we won't know if they don't get that opportunity, right?
Great analogy. I absolutely love that. That was spot on. Yes, that is exactly what is going on. Thank you so much for realizing that. Yes.
Well, and so my question to you is this. Are you writing your next speech for the next competition in regards to this subject matter?
I've already written 3 speeches. I need to present them to some of the clubs and get their opinion and feedback on that. That is actually part of one of the ideas in my speech. So thank you for bringing that up. But yes, I was actually completely satisfied with winning first runner up. I thought, wow, it's never going to get any better than this. That's amazing. And I remember going on a tour of Puebla, Mexico, and they had invited me to speak at their conference. And everybody's coming up, congratulations, great job, we're so proud of you, way to represent the Hispanics. And I'm like, I had no idea that a Hispanic had never reached that level before.
Oh, so, really?
Yes, wow. Exactly. So I thought, wow, okay, great. So this is great to know. And one lady came up and said, congratulations, we're so proud of you, thank you for representing. Absolutely. She turned to walk away and she comes back and she says, oh, and good luck on trying to reach number 1. And I went, wait, what? I mean, I have to do this again for another 7 years? Look, I'm happy with second place. You're not happy with second place? Are you kidding me? She instilled something in me, and she said, you can make us proud. You can do it. And so now I'm on the quest to win first place. And it's not so much for me as it is to say, okay, this can be done. This needs to happen. And if somebody hasn't done it before, then I'm going to try and do it. So everything is a challenge. I take everything with a grain of salt and a lot of humor. You have to have humor. You have to
agree.
In fact, I did a speech. One of my speeches was on breast cancer, and it was a humorous speech, and I thought I killed it. And it was a good job. I thought I had fun with it, and that's one thing I'm learning to do now, is just to have fun. One of the dreams I'd had when I was a child was to be a veterinarian, because I wanted to help the animals so much. And realizing that I had told myself I didn't have the intelligence to be able to get through all the sciences that I would need to take in college, I gave up that dream. And now at the age of 61, I'm realizing that my dream wasn't so much to be a veterinarian as it was to help the animals.
Yes.
And that's what I'm realizing. So if you think you're stuck at the age of 30 or 40 or 50 and you've let your dreams go, just reanalyze your dream and say, was it really to be a veterinarian, or was it just to help the animals? And exactly. I realized you can achieve your dream at any age. Don't let age be a number. You can do anything. You can be anything you want to be except younger. So work on what you got, do what you need to do, reanalyze your dreams, and go out there and do that, because it'll make you so happy. It'll make you so happy.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm just feeling this right now. Okay, you like challenges. All right. The organization that I showed you the video, the 501c3, that all roads lead back to that in my book, in my life. And it's kind of like what your animal, that whole thing about being a veterinarian and everything. I entered something, and it was for that cause, to give that light to it. And there is the trophy. I did come in number one. You're going to come in number one with your cause. Yes. That is, I'm putting it out there. Yes. I'm putting it out there because, I became the first Global Next Impactor. And so it opened doors for our organization. In having that, there really is power when you're using it for a cause for good, when you're using it for the benefit of others. You have a cause that is going to benefit other lives. They may have 4 legs rather than 2, and they're a lot cuter than many of us in many ways, that unconditional love that they have. They have unconditional love. It's time for us as a human race to really, truly be responsible for those that cannot protect themselves, and that would be the animal race. And, so I'm putting it out there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You're awesome. And that's all it needs. We just need the positivity that it's going to happen, and it's out there. And so good. And congratulations on your award. That's amazing. Look at you.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. And I understand not necessarily always wanting to put a spotlight on yourself. However, putting a spotlight on your impact and your cause, that's a whole different story. And then it's like, okay, I'll show up for that. Right. And so that's what you are doing. You're showing up, and you're showing up right now in New York, when you have just been, all day delivering dogs, and 47 lives you saved because of this trip.
Yep.
And then you did all the mechanical and technology and all this, because guys, to even be on here today, she had to do this prep work to make it so that her phone would allow it, because this was an unscheduled trip.
Yes.
And she wasn't going to let us down for something that we had already scheduled. That shows commitment. That shows commitment. And yes, and let me just say, Erin is incredible. I'm so glad you're here with us right now.
Sure.
When you intentionally give with your heart, you instantly receive back tenfold plus. And let us rock to achieve our dreams. Absolutely, so well said. May we have the link on where people can donate to her organization that supports.
Yes.
That she supports. And that's the Roadhouse Shelter.
No, ma'am. It is Rough House Rescue. And Rough
House Rescue.
RUFF.
I love that.
Yes.
Rough House Rescue. So
Yes,
that's,
ma'am.
if someone can write that into the chat, please, guys. Rough House Rescue.
RUFF. Yes, ma'am.
RUFF House Rescue. Is it .org?
I believe so.
Okay, most
Yes.
likely it is.
roughhouserescue.org. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, I promised that we would be making the case of why it is that Luisa was nominated as a service hero. However, I think you got a lot more out of this show. At least I hope so, because I believe that we also made the case of how important laughter is to make a difference, to have a story remembered, to disarm people, to maybe listen, and just to have some fun.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
All the time. All the time.
Yes, yes. And Ruben is saying our Toastmaster Club contest is this month. I think that might be for you to remind you that this month is the start. Good timing, Ruben.
There you go.
Well played, my friend. Well played. Yes. And so you're going to have all of us rooting and tooting for you. Rooting and tooting. Ask her about permanent makeup. Okay. Well, we'll do that another day. And I'm going to officially invite you into our organization to come in sometime, because Ruben says that you need to come into our organization, and we can have some fun with that. And so
Absolutely.
we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. That will be great fun. Remember,
thank you so much.
To put love in the world. Absolutely.
That's what we need right now. That's what we need.
Absolutely. And so here is the organization to, guys, please support. Please get involved. Please understand, also be watching for Luisa. Luisa is she's going to take number one this time. We're going to rootin' and tootin' help her and get this message out there, and so that we can make a difference, and that her area is no longer number one. Doesn't need to be. Doesn't need to be. Doesn't need to be. We're going to be
so much.
You are so welcome. Guys, thank you for being here. This was a great show. Let's get it out there. Let's make a difference, because when we all collectively work together and we share the love has a frequency of its own, and we can help to change the world, heal the world.
Yep.
Through love. All right.
Make the world a better place. Thank you so much. What an honor. And I really, really appreciate this platform. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. You are definitely a service hero. So today, on February the 8th, 2021, Luisa, it's your day to be a service hero. You have been honored.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Be back on Wednesday, and we will be telling another inspiring story of others that will inspire all of you. Bye.
No, thank you.